All right, so we got a fun topic that we want to bring to y'all, and we are talking about proposals. So, proposing to get married. We're going to talk about, do you need a ring to propose? So, got my ring on. Yeah. Cami got hers on. And we're going to give some more thoughts on this. Spoiler alert, we disagree on this. So, this is going to be a fun conversation for you all to hear. But I'll kick it off by saying, I think from the standpoint of a man that you for sure should propose with the ring. And I got a lot of reasons for this. Now, I'm not like gonna die on the hill of, man, you just gotta propose with a ring. You gotta have a ring to do a proposal. I'm not gonna die on that hill, but I'm gonna give some reasons why I think it makes sense and why you should. Yeah. Should more so than need. So, number one, I think that it just is a good tradition. And I feel like we live in a world that is so, I guess you could say, against tradition and in a lot of unhelpful ways. And I kind of understand why, because some traditions are just kind of arbitrary. Some stuff, especially if you grew up in a church and things like that, some tradition feels like it trips over efforts that you could make to do certain things. And so it can kind of get in the way of progress. So one of the biggest apprehension of tradition is, oh, we can't progress something because we're so caught up in doing something the way it's been done versus doing something that could be done better. So I understand that tension, but when it comes to, in my opinion, you making a proposal, I feel like you're almost, and this is just my opinion, I feel like you're kind of cheapening something. I feel like that should be viewed in a special traditional way where you were able to take the effort. And I'm not saying you got to spend like every single penny you make. Some people say you have to use three paychecks for a ring. That's what you should give. Just all type of different ways people go about doing it. I didn't do that, but people do that sometimes. And then other people, I'm not saying you got to spend all your money to get a ring, but I think you should probably have a ring because it's a good tradition. And I think it also shows that you've made a conscious decision in yourself that you're going to propose to a person. You're showing that person just a glimpse of what she's worth to you, that you went out of your way to save up, to buy her something that's beautiful, one, because women love rings, and two, to show her how much you care. And then also just to show that you can actually even just afford something like a ring too, also is another thing that comes to mind where it's like, yeah, if you are in a place where like, I'm not going to get a ring to propose because I can't even afford a ring, but I want to be married, I think you should take a step back. Not saying that people who aren't well off, like the only people that should get married are well off people. That's not what I'm saying. But I do think that if it is because you can't afford a ring, I just don't think that that's a good enough reason. You may need to take a step back and say, maybe I am not in a position to marry a person. But I feel like you rob a woman of those traditions and that experience of, you could take a knee without a ring. But I mean, at that point, like, I just can't even picture it. So,
Give me your hand.
I'll save some more of my thoughts I have as we go. But what do you think about that?
Yeah.
And what's your thought?
I would say, no, you don't have to have a ring. This is actually very shocking for people who know me. But what I would say is that, if you're ready and she's ready, and, well, you got different scenarios too. Let's just, for the sake of argument, let's talk about the couple who've been together for years and years and years. And, they probably had kids together, all things like that, right? And they I don't know, they decided, they started going back to church, things like that. And the man is like, you know what, we need to do right. We've been living together and stuff. We've been playing house, but we need to actually get married, right? Okay. And so in that moment, right, like I said, they already got kids, blah, blah, they've been doing this, they've been living together, all the things. But he's like, we need to do right. His purpose is because he wants to be in right standing with God. Has nothing to do with the flashiness and all the stuff like that, right? So he decided, let's go get married. In that moment, he don't got the money for, $1,000 to just pay on a ring. And so I say, it's coming. And you know why, blah, blah, blah. But we gonna go get married. Go get married. Please go get married. Don't wait on that ring. That's just an example, right? But I would say, yes, if you're ready and things, and it's not showing that he really doesn't have any money, because I think that's important too, because as the wife-to-be, you would like to know that your husband-to-be has some type of income and things to be able to provide as the provider of your household. Not saying he's the only one, you could be working too, But that gives a sense of security. If you know that, and he's like, I really, maybe the wife-to-be wants a certain ring, right? Because sometimes people go ring shopping and they out in the mall, whatever, and he's like, I want that one.
Oh, yeah.
And so the man can provide a ring, but he's like, I want her to have that specific ring. But if she's like, I want to get married now, though, and marrying you is more important than the ring, then yes, I'm saying he can propose because he knows what she wants without the ring, and she knows it's coming. She's okay with that. So in both of those cases, it's like, it still is going to be just as special because, again, the attention shouldn't be solely focused on the ring. So I think, yeah, you can propose without a ring.
Okay. I think you made a fair case for it, but of course, I got to kind of like give my takeaway and kind of like dissect what I feel from. So the first example you gave, and again, examples, I'm not going to hold you too hard to it, but it's like, in that instance, you're skipping proposal altogether than just getting married. So just to be clear, I don't think, so if we're skipping proposal altogether to get married, yes, I would much rather you just go ahead and I guess courthouse or whatever at that point, if you're trying to, you've already skipped a few steps and all that stuff. You got children by the person, or you've already become intimate with them and they're not your wife. Yeah, I'm totally down for you just going to get married and no proposal. In that case, no ring. I'm with that. Don't wait. Please don't wait. So
he's the one who initiates it. So it's like he proposes, like, no, we need to go get married. Let's go get married.
Okay, so it's a proposal of sorts in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's different, I think. Okay. I think it's a little different. But I'm not mad at that.
Okay.
Your other scenario, summarize that again so I don't make sure.
So basically, I was saying you have some couples who the wife-to-be wants a certain ring.
Right, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like that's an interesting one.
So it's not that he can't afford a ring, but he don't want to just get any ring. He want to get that ring. And that ring
what you would do in that scenario, I think you bring up a good point.
Okay.
This is what I think could happen. Now, we didn't do this. I don't think you would have wanted this, or maybe I'm wrong, so we get to get your answer to that right now. But if you're that type of guy that doesn't feel like you'll pick out something that she will like, or if you feel as though this is something that she would, if you feel as though you can't pick the right one and you think she would do better at telling you the types, and then I would just go out to ring places and have her show you the type of rings that she would like, that she would be okay with. And then as time goes on, when you have the money, or if money isn't a factor, but you're just not at that moment ready to propose, I mean, then I think you get the ring and then propose. And that, I would just say that's me. Maybe I'm being a stickler. Maybe I'm nitpicking.
You're saying they should wait.
I think you should wait until, if you can get a ring, but you just know that you're not going to pick the right one without her input. I've heard of couples that have went and looked at rings because they really already know that they want to marry each other, but they don't know the timeline exact. And there's a surprise factor. I think that men and women both desire to operate.
Yeah, that takes away.
But I bring this up for you because I don't think you would have liked that. So what do you think about that?
Not at all.
But did I pick well though? Is the question.
Day of, right? Yeah. I kind of had an idea that you were going to propose just because I know you. Mm-hmm. So I kind of had a little idea. I made sure I went to the shop, got my hair done, all the stuff like that. But no, I don't like that with the whole like, let's go to the mall. Let's go look at rings. Let's go blah, blah. Like, I don't want to do that whole, I'm just dropping hints here and there, blah, blah, blah. When he's ready, he's going to do it and stuff. Now, I will say, I don't know if it was just like in mid-conversation or whatever. I don't know. But I did tell him
you told me the style,
the type of cut.
Yep.
That was the only thing I said. I want princess cut.
That's it.
Outside of that, he already knew I didn't want no yellow gold. I didn't want that, old traditional look. But other than that, no. And he did a great job. Went shopping with his mom and his aunt. So.
Hey, I mean, I did mine right.
I can't complain. I love
y'all got a good example. Mm-hmm. No, but I understand. I think what I'm going to push more for, it's 2024, and we're kind of steering more and more away from traditions that I think are good and healthy, and I also think worth aspiring towards. Here's where I'll come to kind of like a middle ground.
Okay.
I'll say, generally speaking, you should definitely get a ring. I'm not saying the most expensive ring, and I'm not saying the most cheap ring, but get something that you can afford and that you can work out. They have decent financing with different ring places where
That
you could
will
at
make
least,
her feel special.
where you within a year, even like no interest, and you can do a payment plans and all that stuff. I'm not big on those type of things, but when it's 0% interest, you know, it's not as bad if you're responsible and you believe within a time frame of a year that you can handle it. Like I had the money to get the ring, but I still went ahead and financed it because I was like, well, hey, I might as well build up some credit history and like I don't have to pay the money all up front. But I did have the money to pay for the ring as is, but I just did it that way.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways. I would say generally get the ring, and then if you're not in the general case, forget about a ring and get married. I'm totally cool with that. But don't just completely skip out on the ring. I think you can still, even after the initial proposal and you went and got married at a courthouse, you can still, when you're able to get a ring, get a ring and still go to drop on your knee. And I think she'll still enjoy it. It's not the ideal. It's not what I would want to be the standard, but I'm not saying don't. So that's kind of my middle ground for it.
Yeah.
But we love to know what you all think. Do you need a ring to propose, or should you have a ring? And let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And before we head out, make sure you do a favor, hit the thumbs up, like this video, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos.